Whoops.
Welcome to Indiana Sports Beat Radio, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington and Southern Stone Restaurant.
Looks over the middle, second guesses, fires, throws. Does he make the catch in the end zone? Yes! Touchdown! Oladipo to win it.
Another one!
He got
Another
it!
one! Another one!
Huge hole. He's at the 30. He's going to go. 10, 5, touchdown. Jonathan Taylor.
Worked out by Burke. Bounces into Cody. Puts it up. Scores!
Now, from the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios, here's your host, Jim Coyle.
Welcome into Indiana Sports Beat Radio. No Jim Coyle at the moment. He'll be joining us shortly. This is producer John Alden filling in right now. Also joined by former Indiana football player Derrick Jackson under Bill Mallory. How are you doing this morning, Derrick?
Man, I'm doing wonderful. Exciting week. Exciting game coming up here on Saturday. One of our arch nemesis in the Big Ten, who we, previous to my arrival, we struggled against, but we had some recent success against the number 6, I believe it's number 6 and number 9 ranked Spartans. So it's going to be a very good game. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, the battle for the old brass spittoon. One of the, I don't want to say it's a forgotten trophy game in the Big Ten, but one of the more overlooked trophy games and rivalry games that you don't really hear much of the rivalry aspect of it. But Indiana has current possession of the old brass spittoon. As of last year, they shut out the Spartans. I believe it was 24-0 in last year's matchup. But Michigan State, a whole different team this year. Indiana's coming off a bye week, a much-needed bye week at that. And a lot to look forward to as it's looking like Jack Tuttle's probably going to be the starter coming into this game. And I don't want to say a new look offense, but a new opportunity for this offense to start doing some new things.
Right. Well, Coach Mel Tucker, man, up there, he has those guys really in sync. Just looking at a couple key stats, their secondary, they rank 124th out of 30 in football subdivisions on passing allows a yard per game. So that's really a key stat for us. Gives Freifogel and Tuttle a good opportunity to get downfield against those guys. But make no mistake about it, in passing efficiency, they rank 24th, okay, in the nation. So they're looking really good. I tell you what, just watching the game last week and just kind of chiming in on some of the things that they had going on. Again, Jalen Naylor and the running back, he's doing a phenomenal job. I think it's going to be a defensive football game. Our scheme is going to present some problems other than the fact that, we're a no-huddle offense. And then on top of that, we've got, Jack Tuttle now in. So Michigan State's probably going to prepare for 2 quarterbacks. Probably won't be a two quarterback game. But I got all the confidence in the world in Jack Tuttle. It's my guy. Again, Mike Penix, I know, is out. We wish him success, that he gets back on the field or whatever he decides to do going forward. But, hey, right now, Michigan State is in our crosshairs. Great opportunity come Saturday for homecoming.
And you mentioned Kenneth Walker from Michigan State. That's a crazy transfer from Wake Forest. I'm going to bring in Jim Coyle here in a second. He's already joined us. But Kenneth Walker already on pace to potentially be a 2,000-yard rusher. He's almost got 1,000 through 6 games. He's got a little over 950 yards, I believe, on the ground. So he is going to be a problem for this Indiana football team. I'm talking about Kenneth Walker, the Michigan State running back, Jim.
He's on pace for 2,000 yards this year.
So they're through 6
Derrick,
games
how
right
you doing,
now.
Man? Hey, Jim, how you doing, buddy? Hey, good morning to you, man.
Been better. I can't believe that, man. I did not know they had a running back of that caliber. Wow. Reminds me of the year that Tevin Coleman had 2,000 yards and didn't get an invite to the Heisman Trophy ceremony. Still an aggravation.
They're going to make us stop the run, no doubt. Our secondary is in sync. Again, if we're going to stop the run, again, like I was just telling my man John here, I mean, Jalen Naylor, the wide receiver, every year he has stepped his game up one level. That's going to be key. Hopefully I believe we got Twan Mullen back. That's going to be key. I think it's going to be a defensive ball game. We got Michael McFadden. I think he's, there in the middle. So they got their work cut out for him too, coming into Bloomington, which is now slowly but surely transferring into a hostile environment, given the history that Michigan State and Indiana has.
My man DB, if you don't know, not only did he play football in Indiana, he coached for 10 years also, so he knows what he's talking about. Where all did you coach, Derrick?
I'm sorry?
Where all did you coach?
Oh, I coached in high school now. That's where I was. I was here at the local high school. Right. Yeah. I coached at Dunbar High School. I started off, I was basically just like college. I was an assistant position coach, and I ended up becoming a linebackers coach. Actually, it was kind of funny, man, because I coached the two techs. They're never played the position, but at high school level is really where you cut your teeth at. So I learned a lot about schemes and things like that. Coach Sam Brown down here at Dunbar High School is doing a phenomenal job. We've got a receiver at Utah State by the name of Devin Tompkins, who for a couple of weeks led the nation in receiving yards at the D1 level. Then, of course, at Pitt, we have Shockey Jaquez Lewis, which was another one of my players that is also doing a wonderful job at Pitt. So we've got some guys that are really doing a phenomenal job. One other player, Derrick Hunter Jr., who's at Texas A&M. They just beat Alabama last weekend, man. So they're riding on a high.
Heck yeah, man. And then, of course, we've got all kinds of games. The Big Ten looking good this year, looking a little different. I don't know that Ohio State is the best team in the Big Ten East. Of course, we'll have to wait and see. Penn State, without question to me, I talked about this the other day with Don Fisher mentioned it. If they don't lose Sean Clifford, I don't see that they lose that game against Iowa. They were pretty much in control of that game until they lost him. And then Iowa was able to squeak by. But I still think that Penn State may be the best team in the Big Ten, period.
In the Big Ten East, the Big Ten period, yeah, they're looking at the Big Ten East. I think Michigan State right now sits atop. We have Indiana has two more opportunities. We didn't get the job done with a couple of our past opponents, but that's in the past. But we got Maryland. We got Michigan State. First of all, we need to take care of Michigan State. Take care of Michigan State. Then we have a couple of opportunities left. To do some make a statement that we are the team that everyone thought we were last year, getting past what happened over the past few games. So,
and this is a homecoming game. How important as players is that, or is it just another game for the players? They even think about that? Because when I was in high school, I don't know that I thought about it, but it wasn't really a big deal in high school. But does it mean much to the players as a homecoming game?
It's another day at the office, Jim. The hoopla, the festivities. Our coach, Coach Mallory would always want us, hey, don't you get caught up into the hype, because listen, at the end of the day, we have people that bought tickets to come to watch a football game. And that's what they're there for, is to see us become successful. And I really think that this weekend, even though we have Jack Tuttle, come Saturday, I'll be in the stands. Hopefully my voice is louder than anyone else. You will see that, we are much different and a much improved football team, given the 2 weeks that we've had off. So forget about homecoming, the opponent, those guys coming here, in the white collar jersey, Michigan State, we need to take it to these guys this weekend.
And I know the rest of the team, not that they don't have confidence or didn't have confidence in Michael Penix Jr., they do, but it wasn't going well. You've got Jack Tuttle. Maybe it's a resurgence for the rest of the team. It's a restart, a reset button, maybe, I don't know. Do they feel that way that, hey, we can restart things right now and get going?
I don't know the pulse for the football team, but I can tell you right now, hopefully when I get down there, I get a chance to get around a few guys on Friday before they go off into, where they are, the night before the game, and just kind of get a temperature check and see where they are. But I think now, the reality probably set in last game. Michael Penix got hurt. That once they found out about the separated shoulder, that, hey, we need to do like we did last year. We need to rally around Jack Tuttle. He brought us success last year, brought us success at the end of the football game, the last time we played. So I think going forward, I think they've rallied around him, and I think he's going to do a phenomenal job. Like I told Jack last year, hey, listen to the coaches. Don't listen to the media. Don't listen to the analysts. Listen to the coaches. Play your game and do your job. That's all you need to do, to be successful.
Have you been coming back each year?
Haven't been coming back each year, Jim. I've been connected, but I'm going to start doing that and being more involved in the program, being more involved in all of Indiana sports. Because I tell you what, Indiana's looking great in women's basketball. It's exciting with Mike Woodson coming on as the new men's basketball coach. So and Tom Allen is doing a wonderful job. What most people don't understand is that as a head coach, any successful head coach is going to have some setbacks, man. This is a test of not only the team's character, but a test of Coach Tom Allen's character and his staff. Where do we go from here? Is the morale down? Guys, listen, what can we as coaches do to get this thing back on track? I don't think Indiana's off track. I just think right now they have basically ran across a couple of hurdles that they did not negotiate very well. And now Penix is gone. That kind of hurts a little bit. But then we got Jack Tuttle. So, and then I think Tim Baldwin Jr. entered the transfer portal. Okay. Well, you have guys doing that. But guess what? That's why you have other guys. And I tell the second teamers all the time, backups, I don't care what, I'm here to see you guys. I want to see your attitude on the sideline. I want to know, you need to watch just as much film, prepare just as hard as anyone else on this team, like you're starting. Because guess what? Now Jack Tuttle finds himself in another unique situation where all eyes are on him. He's got the weight of the world on his shoulder.
How many times in your entire career, no matter playing, coaching, what, did you see someone who got an unexpected opportunity shine and like, oh my, where did that come from? But it's someone that probably wouldn't have had that opportunity if something didn't happen, like Penix getting hurt or whatever the case may be, someone leaving or Tim Baldwin leaving, and all of a sudden someone else gets an opportunity, and it's like, man, they wouldn't have had that if that didn't happen, and they shine. That happened. There's nothing more exciting than to see that guy, that person, do that when they get that unbelievable opportunity that they weren't expecting to get, but they shine for that.
I go back to Dan Bogan and Anthony Thompson back in 1986. We all came in, and let's be clear about one thing. And once I got there, I understood it. Anthony Thompson was recruited and was signed not to sit down. He was signed to play instantaneously. At the time, we had a guy by the name of Barry Wade, who was a running back, and he was a senior. And Spud Washington also was there at the time. But Anthony Thompson was signed to play, but he had a deep thigh bruise. Anthony did, AT did. I think probably, maybe right before our first game or something like that. And Dan Bogan, guy from East Lansing, okay, right out of East Lansing, Michigan, right in Michigan State backyard, was at Indiana. This guy did a phenomenal job. 6'2", something like that, 200 and some pounds. He was toting that ball like it was, man, I think the guy had some, like, before AT came back, guy had some like 400 rushing yards, 400 or 500 rushing yards by the time AT came back. AT comes back, obviously, the rest. But that's the one time that I seen the guy some guy had a phenomenal opportunity, knowing that, like you said, Jim, if it hadn't have been for the injury to Anthony Thompson, he would have never been there. But he did a great job while he had that opportunity.
Yeah, it's amazing. Hello to everybody that's joining us already. Scott, Five Lifts, and Pete, Forrest, everybody. Tim, appreciate you guys jumping on. We got plenty to get to. And Derrick, I just like to call him DB. Or DJ rather. What's DJ? Right. Did you have what was DB? Was I'm thinking of positional. I get positions in my head already going back. Right. But what did you have a nickname in football, or they call you DJ? It's just DJ.
Yeah, DJ, exactly. Yep, that's what everybody in there knows. Man, and they guys still, my fraternity brothers, everybody, even the guys that I played with, still DJ. Man, that's
it's so easy. It's just so easy.
Yeah, it is.
DJ is really setting the pace today. We're so happy to have you, man. Derrick Jackson joining us here on Indiana Sports Beat. Could not be happier. We got plenty more coming up from the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios, brought to you by the great folks at Southern Stone Restaurant. I'm going to make sure to get DJ in to get a meal at Southern Stone when he gets in. Great place. That's where the coaches' shows are held at Patterson and Rogers. Great place to go. But we got plenty more coming up here on Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Back with it right after this.
We'll be right back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington and Southern Stone Restaurant.
Whether it's a celebration or this is, man, you're natural at this, man.
Hey, how's the weather up there this time of year? It's a little chilly. Probably sweatshirt weather at least.
Well, it is now. It hadn't been, but and Friday, I think it's going to be like a high of 66.
Oh, wow, man. I'm looking outside right now in the sun, man. We're probably talking about 76, 77 degrees out there right now, man.
It had been like that, but all of a sudden it dropped a little bit. But we'll go back and grab a little more coffee. I'll be right back.
Okay, not a problem, man.
Where do you live, Derrick? Or DJ?
I'm in Fort Myers,
I guess maybe I should
Florida.
call you DJ.
Yeah, I'm in Fort Myers, Florida.
Fort Myers, Florida. Okay, so you're down there living it up in the sun.
Man, I'm retired. I'm enjoying life. Aside from the fact that, again, my wife passed away back in August, I'm readjusting to life as it is. And it helps, when I can go outside pretty much at any given time this time of the year and see some sun and go to the beach if I need to, play some golf, do little things like that. That's really what my week or my days consist of, golfing and fishing pretty much. And now this, man, I really appreciate you, Jim, for inviting me on the show, man, because this kind of keeps me motivated and in tune to what's going on in the sports world. You came at the right time, man. So I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Hopefully he can hear you right now. I'm not sure if he's within hearing distance, but.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry, John.
No, you ain't got to apologize. You're good.
Yeah, man.
He said he can hear you. I heard him shouting.
Where are you at, John? Where are you located now?
So I live in Mount Washington, Kentucky. It's just south of Louisville.
Okay. Yeah,
so I'm on the pretty much on the edge of southern Indiana.
Yeah, I remember when
close to the southern edge of Indiana.
Coach Snellenberger recruited me from Louisville. Yeah, man. I had to call the guy. It's between Indiana and Louisville, and I had to call the guy. He called me on a Sunday and was expecting me to be in camp about 2 weeks later. I had to call Coach Snellenberger with that deep baritone voice of his and let him know that, hey, Coach, I'm deciding to go to Indiana. And he was like, what do you mean?
That's crazy. So it came down to Indiana and Louisville for you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I was recruited by Florida. And the Florida Gators, actually. I wasn't recruited by Miami or Florida State, but the Gators also was in the fold. I just, I said, listen, man, my good friend of mine that played DB with me, he's like my brother. He went to Florida. I said, man, I'm ready to get out of the state of Florida because I really didn't want to just have the temptation to come back home every weekend like that.
Mm-hmm.
Want to go somewhere different, do something. And everybody was like, oh, Indiana's a basketball school. But guess what, man? Things are going to change. And they did for about, I know my 4 years, we went to a bowl game every year that I was there at Indiana.
And there aren't many players who can say that.
Nope. I'm telling you, man, this team that we're playing, I have a particular interest in this team other than Purdue. This is the team that Coach Mallory made that famous speech on when he went into their locker room and told them to go out there and kick their ass. Michigan State. So, yeah, we missed the Rose Bowl by one game. If we had to beat Michigan State, we was out of there, man. We were going to California, brother.
Hey, I got to bring us back in. I'll come back to that when we come in.
Okay.
This segment is brought to you by Remax Advanced Realty, Indy Home Pros team by Cheryl Sizemore. Now back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington and Southern Stone Restaurant.
Welcome back. Indiana Sports Beat Radio coming to you here on this Wednesday, brought to you by Andy Moore and Southern Stone, along with Remax Realty. If you're looking for a home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore with her 2 decades of experience. That could be the difference between you getting the home you want. Reach out to Cheryl at IndyHomePros.com. Welcome back. DJ, the DB. That should be the name. DJ, the DB. Derrick Jackson joining us, former player for Indiana. But just love having you on. But your knowledge is awesome. I was able to hear in the break, you were talking about one of my only decent impersonations. When I first started working in media, Derrick, I was from Southern Indiana. I was working in Louisville. I actually was at IU, and I got an internship at the CBS station in Louisville, and ended up getting a job there. But I was covering Howard Snellenberger. He's when he first came to Louisville,
right?
And I will never forget. And I wish you could pull this clip up because I'd like to hear it back to back with mine because I think my impersonation is pretty good.
I always struggle to find that clip in particular, but if I can ever get a permanent hold of it, I will make sure I've got it on file for future reference.
You got to have a pipe. I need a pipe, but
You got to have a piece of fried chicken too. He loved fried chicken. I remember that.
But he made this statement. He's like, the University of Louisville is on a collision course with a national championship. The only variable is time. That was his big statement, man. Oh man, I can't believe it. I heard you saying that you had to turn him down. It is so funny because he was man, he did a hell of a job when he got to Louisville, turning that program around. He truly did. But what he did at Miami, a lot of people don't realize Miami was a junk hole when he got there. A junk hole, man. He couldn't give away tickets to get people to go watch play there in the early 80s. And man, they became a juggernaut. He should have stayed there, to be honest.
Well, here's the deal. He started recruiting me at Miami. If you can remember, he left right at the time I was transitioning from a junior to a senior and went out to Louisville. And so after that, Miami didn't. I wasn't. Let me tell you. Let me help you understand one thing. I wasn't going to Miami anyway, simply because I wasn't sitting on the bench for 4 years. Come on, man. Michael Irvin. All those the Blaze brother. No, bro. It ain't happening. So he got to Louisville and kept going with the recruitment from there. And the guy again, another coach with a very, very commanding, and he's an imposing figure. And just deep baritone voice. Talked to him on Sunday, probably about maybe 2 weeks before camp, something like that. And it was probably, I know it's back in February. I had to tell the guy, I said, listen, I'm not coming to Louisville. I'm going to University of Indiana. I'm expecting this guy just to come through the phone because he sent the recruiter down for a couple of days, and the recruiter and I, we talked almost the entire time to try to get me to come there. But, I didn't end up going there. But he was a great, phenomenal coach, turned that program around to him at Louisville. Did it at Miami, and he did it. I think they went to the Fiesta Bowl, correct?
They beat Alabama.
Yeah.
What happened was Arizona was one of two states that would not or did not recognize Martin Luther King Day as a national federal day. Right. And so teams started boycotting the Fiesta Bowl. Like 2 or 3 teams said, all right, we're not coming. We're not going. Mm-hmm. And then smartly so, not because he didn't care about Martin Luther King, I'm sure, but Howard Snellenberger said, I'm sorry, Martin Luther King, but we'll go because he knew what it would do to that program. Just getting that opportunity, I'm pretty certain. I'm pretty sure he didn't expect to win that game like 34-7 or whatever they did, but that's what they did. They went down there and just destroyed Alabama. Daggone, I'm trying to think of the quarterback's name. I'm drawing a blank right now.
For Louisville, quarterback for Louisville? I think his name was Hoover, something like that.
No, not then. That was afterwards. Daggone it, I can't. But anyway, he threw for like 340 yards or something. They just destroyed Alabama on national television. So, and that really helped jumpstart that Louisville program because,
really did.
It did what he did, but to get that opportunity on national TV and go down there and just to destroy Alabama, that made a bunch of difference. So, a lot of people, he caught grief for doing that because of, the Martin Luther King deal. But I know why he did it. And, I'm sure that I would imagine he had to have conversations with the African-American players on the team.
Right.
And it had to be done. It had to be done with their blessing. And I think that they also knew that, hey, we're not doing this to disrespect. Because I think that they did a lot of things to try to respect Martin Luther King in other regards. But yeah, that's the story. That's what happened.
Yeah, it was the things were challenging back then, and I really think just looking back, I think it was something like they were 7-4. I want to say the score was like 34-7.
There you go. Yeah, they just destroyed him, man. Yeah,
they really did.
Daggone it, I can't believe I can't think of that. I can see him too. That quarterback, I can see his face.
Browning Nagel.
Browning Nagel.
Yep, Nagel. Yep.
Yeah,
That's
I
him.
had just started. What year was that, John? Or
that was let me see. That was 86,
87?
I'm seeing
Yeah.
91 on what I'm looking
91?
at.
I'm sorry, 91.
Okay, that's when I was at. Yeah, I was at WLKY then. I was still in school, but had gone down there and got and had a summer internship, but I got an on-air job, so I stayed and finished down there. But yeah, that stuff was going on. And then that's the same year you were talking in the break about losing to Michigan State and Coach Mallory going over and saying, now go out there and kick their ass.
Yeah,
because that was the game that kept Indiana from going to the Rose Bowl, man. People are they win that game and they're in the Rose Bowl.
We win the game, man. We're on to the Roses. And I tell you, George Pearlis was the head coach. And I just remember guys like Lorenzo White, Andre Bad Moon Rising, Mark Ingram. I mean, those are the guys, man, that we were competing against. And we were actually we were very successful. I mean, we were on point. Vaughn Dunbar, was our running back, and he was doing a phenomenal job. So we were I think we were playing at the highest level I've seen us play at, aside from what we did last year against Penn State. And we had other players in between that time. Don't get me wrong. Tevin Coleman was a phenomenal back at Indiana University. And so now, man, I mean, we're we're still on track to do the same thing. And I was telling John, I said, hey, listen, man, I mean, this week, I really think these 2 weeks are going to make a difference where we're going to see the team of old. We're going to see the team that we saw last year on a higher level. Mike Penix is out. Jack Toller has a phenomenal opportunity to get in there and do the same thing he did last year.
Well, Derrick, I agree with you because they have to. I think this is a have to. I know it's a tough one, but I think they have to win this game. Otherwise, you go from 2-3 to 2-4, and just like the Colts losing that game this weekend or the other night to the Ravens.
Right.
And the difference between being 2-3 and 1-4, that's a gigantic difference because they started out 0-3. Very, very few teams have an opportunity to make the playoffs that start out 0-3. But if you can get to 2-3 quickly, you're okay. But 1-4, yeah, that's a much, much bigger hurdle to overcome. And if you go to 2-4, now you're in trouble because you've got the schedule does not ease up. You've got Maryland and Rutgers are the two easiest games you have left, maybe. And Maryland's not easy. Well, none of them are easy, but
no game
there are no gimmies anymore. And so you've got to do something. You've got to beat somebody that you're an underdog to beat. And I think Indiana is probably I haven't looked at the line. Someone pulled the line up, but I'd say Indiana's probably a 3-point underdog this week, I would guess. You've got to win that game.
Yeah, we got to win that game. We have Michigan, in the future. And then, of course, we have Ohio State. So we've got some tough, and then, of course, Maryland. So we've got, this is a turning point opportunity for us here to have the number 9 team in the country come into our backyard, who we've got some hostile history with, to really turn this thing around and show the people that, we are the team that they thought we were at the beginning of the season. We've had a couple hurdles. What teams doesn't? Alabama lost. So they were the number 1 team in the country. So everybody has their moment that they have the opportunity to turn things around. And this is our moment this Saturday at the Rock. We need to pack the Rock.
That after this weekend, Indiana will have played 4 top 10 teams already out of 6 games. In their first 6 games, they will have played 4 top 10 teams, 3 of which are top 5 teams. I don't think any team in the country can say that.
Nope.
Not even. I mean, we're 6 games in. I bet you there are a few teams that can say that at the end of the season to play that many high-ranked teams like that. But Indiana's not done. They're going to play a ranked Michigan team, a ranked Ohio State team. Am I missing? I think that may be the last of the ranked teams that they have to play. But
you said Michigan, Ohio State. Well, Michigan State, Michigan, and Ohio State are probably the last 3 ranked teams that we have to play. Starting with Michigan State this week.
That's 6 ranked teams, man. Half your schedule. Whew. Yeah, the Big Ten East is always brutal, but it seems to be a little more brutal than this year, than normal. And the sad thing is, if Indiana had been what I thought they were going to be, can you imagine the Big Ten East? Oh my God, there would be 5 teams, 5 rankable teams just in that division.
Right.
Which is nuts.
And here's the thing, back when I played, there was only one Big Ten. There was no Big Ten East, no Big Ten West. Now you got Penn State. Now you got, Michigan. All those teams, back in the day would have been just one Big Ten team. So when you look at it, Indiana traditionally has had a brutal schedule since its existence with teams that are now, like you said, basically in the top 10, 3 of them in the top 5.
I can't. So I'm not able to pop up the comments for some reason today, John, but 5 Lefts was popped up. His best friend was recruited by Howard. He played with Sam Madison. I can't remember what year that was either, but that's been back. That's a ways back.
Yeah, Sam Madison. He was at Louisville.
When was that?
I don't know what year that was. Sam Madison. Let me see. It was probably. Let me see. It had to be in the 90s when Sam Madison was at Louisville. Had to be. But when he was there, I have no idea.
But yeah, and speaking of Florida and the Florida guys, and I heard you talking about in the break, you ended up coming to Indiana University because you wanted to get out of Florida and you were recruited by Florida and Miami, or not Miami, not by Florida State. Not by Florida State, right. Which is odd. But Indiana and Tom Allen, they have the most Florida players than any Big Ten team, which is a little amazing, but that shows you that's how you get good. You go get the good athletes, the best athletes. He's done a great job with that. And now they've really spread out. They've got a kid coming in next season, a quarterback, a hell of a quarterback from Texas, Josh Hoover in 6A. We need to see what his stats are right now. He was killing it, and I'm sure he still is, but they've really been able to spread their recruiting out, and that's the key, man. You can't just recruit a small area. You've got to go where the best is, and they've been able to do that. And then they've got to get that put together. And I'm not sure where all that lies, but there's been just a slight disconnect with the offense this year. And I think more of it has lied with the offensive line than anything, unfortunately. And I don't understand that because that's a core group returning. They had 16 total starters returning on this team, and I think 9 of them were on offense. A bulk of that was on the line, but not sure where has gone awry there, but something has been a problem for sure.
Right. Well, I don't know if it. I haven't, been following the progress of the offensive line. Maybe there was, some injuries that happened with some of those guys down there. Maybe they just haven't been in sync. And we, like you said, we played some very, very good football teams, Jim. Very good football teams. I mean, ranked football teams. So obviously, defense wins championships. And so when you disrupt our scheme, even though we have a no-huddle offense, you're going to have some things that you probably need to address when it comes to the offensive line.
And the one thing about the offense, the one thing I don't like, I don't think they have enough pace. I think they need to pick up the pace. Right. I'd like to see them be a little quicker, keep the defense on the field more, because that's what's Indiana's defense has done a tremendous job. But statistically, it doesn't look that great. I posted, I think it was last week, the stop rates between teams in the country, and Indiana is 75th in the country in stop rate, which is not good. But part of that's because they're on the field too long. They're having to face too many possessions where the offense is not giving them enough help and keeping them off the field long enough. They have to keep coming back on the field. So the offense has got to have some sustained drives this week and let the defense rest and let the defense do their job. And then the offense has got to do their job, period. They've got to have some drives, let them rest, and they've got to score points. That's a basic premise, but that's a story.
Yeah, defense really has to, stay off of the football field. Offense has really got to get up there and do some damage. And like I said, I think Freifogel has a great opportunity this week. We talked about the stats in the beginning when it comes to where they rank in terms of passing efficiency, and their secondary is pretty good, but they're going to have to adjust to a no-huddle offense, and that's going to present some problems for any defensive team when you got guys out there, man, who have to always be ready, and the defensive coordinator has to be ready to make on-field adjustments at a time like that. So I think, again, it's going to be a defensive football game. We have the opportunity to have the upper hand. I mean, with Tawan Mullen being an All-American, really going to have an opportunity to make some plays, and Michael McFadden as well. He's going to have an opportunity to make some plays, man.
Tim, with a good stat there. The average ranking of the ranked teams that Indiana has already played or will play is sixth. Yeah, tough one.
Wow.
Hey, we got to take a break, and we'll be back with plenty more. Derrick Jackson joining us as co-host, and we got more coming up. We'll be back with it right after this.
We'll be right back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington and Southern Stone Restaurant. Whether you're looking for
Going to get a cup of water, guys. We'll be right back.
You're good. Nobody's up next. We have Bob at 10 o'clock. I can't believe I actually heard you come through that. That barely came through to me. I'm not sure what you just said. Oh, Bozich. I guess they'll be on at the same. I keep forgetting about Bozich. I guess he'll be on with them. Let me double check with him. I can't believe I forgot about Rick Bozich. I can't hear you, Jim. Go ahead and send him the link.
I think Van's coming on, what, 10:40?
10:40, yep. And he should already have. I emailed him at the beginning when I emailed everybody else.
Right. Yeah, I figured it's going to be a little chilly up there, so I'm all prepared. I had to go get a couple of things to wear because all my clothes are Florida clothes now, so I had to go grab a couple of things. That in there, I tell you, boy, it can get nippy up there this time of year. Glad it's October though, and not December. I think I'd rather be there in October than November or December, I should say.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to go ahead and bring us back in.
Also 0% APR financing over 48 months and $0 down. Get more to your door with AndyMooreHonda.com.
Come see us at the all-new Andy Moore Honda, now in Bloomington.
This segment is brought to you by AAA Insurance. Now back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington and Southern Stone Restaurant.
Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat. Hey, brought to you by Southern Stone Restaurant and Andy Moore. Also, AAA Insurance, don't forget. Hey, we all need insurance, whether it's home auto, renters, or life insurance. Make sure you get covered by someone who cares about you. Reach out to our friends if you're in Southern Indiana, Southwest Indiana, Southern Illinois. 812-477-9966. That's 812-477-9968. No, 9966. I did that before. I don't know why I do that. 812-477-9966. I can't read. Derrick, I'm having problems reading. Who all do you know of a bunch of guys that are coming in or are going to be that you're going to get to hook up with when you come in this week, Derrick?
I don't know of anyone coming in. I know that AT, I'll be able to hook up with him. I know that Jim Farrell will be there as well. I don't really know of anyone else that'll be coming. Matt Bomber, I'm sure I'll probably get a chance to reach out to Matt Bomber. I'm going to tailgate with Greg Farrell. I'm going to tailgate with him. So it's going to be nice, man. Kind of seeing the other side of the of the game. Never had the opportunity to experience that.
Tailgating? The tailgating?
Yeah, the tailgate, man.
Yeah, I mean that's how many games do you get? And so since you've been busy, until you retired and all that, were you able to come back to many games?
No. Like I said, man, it's been 31 years since I've been there, man.
So this is the first game you've been back for?
It's the first game I've been back for, and in a long time. I know things have changed. Matter of fact, I'm going down to Buffalo Louis. I think on scheduled to go to Buffalo Louis on Friday. I'm going to get in Bloomington around about maybe 2:30, and going to go down to Buffalo Louis, and I think Tom Brew. From Tom Brew Sports, him and I are going to sit down and have a chat once I get there.
Anyway, I forget what I was saying, but are you driving or flying?
No, I'm flying. Oh no, man, I would not.
Well, I just want to make sure because you're not bringing your golf clubs, I assume.
No, you know what? I was supposed to, but the guys decided not to because I have a fraternity there that I've been a part of. So we decided not to do the golfing thing. This was an opportunity for me to reconnect with my football alumni and the program more than anything. So that's what I'm looking forward to doing. When I get
all business.
That's it, man. I tell you, man.
DJAB, all business.
Getting ready for this game, man. I mean, I told Coach Allen, I said, listen, I ain't going to tell nobody, but you can find me in section whatever if you need me to come in.
That's great. How long are you going to be in for?
Just till Sunday? Let me see. I'm gonna come in on Friday. Then I'm gonna return on Saturday. I'll be there all day on Saturday. Friday, anywhere from about 2 till about maybe 8. 2 to about 7 or 8 o'clock before I go back to Indy and get with some of the guys that I'm in a fraternity with.
Oh, okay, so you're going back to Indy to see those guys. Cool.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Awesome to see that. And I know we're going to get the chance to speak with Van Waiters later on in the day. That's another name from the past. I mean, if you were an Indiana fan from those days and you remember hearing Don Fisher calling names like Derrick Jackson and Van Waiters, that's when I was in school, man. So yeah, it's just funny. It's just my roommates at the last roommates I had, Jim Sams, Vince Fisher. Were on some of those teams. Vince was a GA in like 90, I think.
Really? He was. I didn't know that he was. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was a GA by then. He had been a defensive lineman,
right.
And Jim Sams also was a defensive lineman.
Right.
But back in those days, man, that was the time. But a great group is not only you said that you were able to go to a bowl game all 4 seasons. Well, actually, they went 6 of 8 of Mallory's years. They went to a bowl game. It was a stretch, a great stretch. I remember going to several of those games, the Peach Bowl down in Atlanta. It was fun. It was several fun times, but it was just something the Indiana fans had not gotten to experience. And it was pretty cool and pretty fun.
Yeah, it was. It was a phenomenal experience, man. I mean, now the guys, when they get ready to go to bowl games, things are a lot different now. I mean, there are a lot more perks you get than we got. But I mean, just the preparation for a bowl game. One thing about Coach Mallory, when we were preparing for a bowl game, there's that stretch of preparation that you have. Unlike you're not playing the next week. You're playing maybe 3 or 4 weeks out. So. I mean, we really, really prepared hard in practice, for a bowl game. I mean, you really had to, if you were going, going to a bowl was a privilege. So if you were going to participate, as a team, you had to practice. I don't care if you were first team or fifth teamer, man. Everyone out there had to do their due diligence to be a part of something that, we've never been a part of before. These guys nowadays, they get sweatsuits, they get shoes, they get bags, they get everything.
Man, you have no idea the swag they get now.
They get the swag, man. I think we got a bowl ring. I got 2 or 3 bowl rings.
Hey, that ring, I'll take a ring over some sweatsuits all day long.
All day long, brother. All day long. Yeah, I would too, man. And now these guys, on top of that, now these guys can get paid.
Now, how about that? You're retired in business. Is that something you could see yourself getting involved with somehow, since you know you have such a wealth of knowledge, being a former player, a former coach, a former college athlete in the NIL, to help lead these guys? I mean, because they have so many people coming at them, and it's a completely different situation than it was 1 year ago, much less 20 years ago.
Yeah. I don't, I see.
Are you just going to stay? Are you supposed to stay retired?
Oh yeah. Me personally, that's what I'm going to do. But for these guys, I see it. Listen, man, the ticket sales. I mean, they come from ticket holders wanting to see the players. They want to see the performance of the players, and the players are bringing the crowd. I mean, I'm for it, man. Pay these guys, man. I mean,
oh yeah,
a lot of these guys, they come from broken homes, and they come from homes that were not stable, and it's an opportunity for them to mom or dad or whatever the case may be. Listen, when I went to Indiana, my first 2 years, we didn't have central AC in our home here in Florida. This was back in the 80s, man, because we stayed in our family home. Okay, so my mom had to really my dad wasn't at home at the time, and my mom had to put AC in the house, a whole AC system. It's hot here in Florida. So when you got a kid, when you got a kid, man, that can go somewhere and can utilize their talents and get paid for it, man, pay these guys, man.
Absolutely. I mean, there are so many of them that do come from underprivileged backgrounds, and they're working and you cannot have a job while you're an athlete. That's funny. That's probably because you already got a job. They just weren't paying you for it.
You know what? You brought something to my attention I didn't know. So these guys still can't have a job, but they can get paid. Is that what you're telling me?
Exactly. This is their job now.
Yeah, hey, and one other thing they need, I put this out on social media the other day. Listen, man, they need to relax the celebration rule. As long as these guys are doing it in moderation and they're not being vulgar toward the other football team or to the crowd, let these guys celebrate, man.
Yeah, some of that gets dumb. Some of that gets dumb. I'm like, really? That's the worst you got to worry about? All the calls they miss, all the targeting issues. All right, this targeting thing is driving me nuts.
Driving me bazonkers, man. I'm telling you,
it has to be changed like immediately. And by changed, I mean you cannot be kicked out of a game for something that is not even being called for doing egregious. It's not like we have the 1 and the 2 flagrants 1 and 2 in basketball, because they want to separate those basically from intent and non-intent. And a lot of times you can't tell, but so it shouldn't be. Not many people are going to be doing something with intent that they know is going to get them kicked out of a game, especially one of your better players. And the biggest thing is when you're going in for a tackle, you set your target point. You can't change that once you release. Well, the offensive player is changing the entire time. If her trajectory is coming down, I can't help that. He's changing his position. I can't do that, anything about that, but you're going to blame me for it. If an offensive player hits someone face to face, it doesn't get called. If an offensive player stiff arms a guy in his face mask, it doesn't get called. Right. I'm like, it doesn't make sense, man. Make the rules make sense.
Yeah, it's very hard to, man. You can tell the difference when a player is intentionally targeting than when a player that's just trying to make an aggressive football tackle and can't help the fact that his helmet landed somewhere up in the head and neck area of the other player. Yeah. You know when a guy torpedoes his body to make a very, very vicious and unhealthy tackle. You can see that. Okay, I'm all for that. Call that. But when a guy, man, is just making, listen, football, you have certain things that come along with playing football. There's certain risks that come along with playing football. These guys out here, men, made the decision to play football. Let these guys play, man. You can't help. If I walk into that wall over there, if I'm going in that direction, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to hit, my head is going to bump up against that wall. I mean, come on, man.
We've talked a ton of football so far. Basketball coming up as well. The Indiana Hoosiers. Mike Woodson had Big Ten basketball media days last Friday. We were there for that. That's another team that needs turned around. The basketball program has fallen on. I wouldn't say it's fallen on hard times. They've just been going through a situation where they just didn't have the right guy at the helm, because they've been able to get talent. They have the talent that can win. They just weren't winning. And I think that's going to change for a number of reasons. But this situation, they have Mike Woodson that they brought in, who is, I want to call him a hometown guy. He's not from Bloomington, but he went to IU. He's from Indianapolis. He grew up in Indianapolis. He played on the streets of Indianapolis. That, to me, that's a home run, man. That's just, especially if you can coach, and we know he can. He spent all those years in the league. He's a player's coach. Just talking to him, listening to him, being around him, he is absolutely a player's coach. But he's got enough Bob Knight in him that it's a great balance to me. That's why I think people like Mike Krzyzewski have done so well. He's a Bob Knight guy. He learned from Bob Knight. He just didn't do it the same way Bob Knight did it. There's different ways to go about it, and I think Mike Woodson is the same way. Today's kids are different, but I think that's going to be a very successful marriage for Indiana with Mike Woodson.
Well, I think what Indiana is not doing, what a lot of programs are doing, they're bringing in leadership, talented coaches who not only have connections at that level, but have player connections as well. When you look at, Mike Woodson, he also has Dan Fine. He's a Bob Knight guy. He's a former IU player. He knows how to recruit, and he knows how to connect with players. You also look at the fact that he has a great connection with Isaiah Thomas, who, was a phenomenal athlete at Indiana University and went on to play for the Detroit Pistons. I remember the guy. I think my first summer there was his last, I want to say, or he had come back. He was already in the pros. He had come back to take a class. Didn't even realize I was taking classes with the guy until somebody said, you know who that guy is? I'm like, no, that's Isaiah Thomas. I mean, he left here a couple of years ago. I was like, oh, okay. So when you have, guys like that has the support of former players, and now he's bringing in other guys that were at the NBA level, that kind of reinvigorates the temperature and kind of reinvigorates the pulse of Indiana basketball. Things are going to be an exciting season, man, for Indiana basketball once the football season comes to a conclusion.
Pete put up the stats I was looking for earlier. I hate to jump back, but Josh Hoover is that kid from Texas, the quarterback that I was talking about in 6A.
Right. Mm-hmm.
His current stats, check those out.
I see.
That's at the top level. Derrick, that's at the top level of Texas football.
Wait a minute. Now, let me ask you a question about this guy. So he's got a 143% passer rating. He's got 6 games, 1,800 yards. My question is now, who is his receivers? That's what I want to know.
Everybody.
They got to be phenomenal.
Everybody. When I watch the highlights of this kid, man, he throws passes. He throws the deep, the crossing routes, the zip routes. He can throw it all, and whoever's open, you better be looking, or you're gonna get hit in the head. I mean, this dude's for real, man. These are some for real stats. This is 6A Texas football. It's the highest level of high school football that there is. 300 yards a game, 21 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. A 143 quarterback rating. Woo!
Yeah,
I can't wait for him to get in town.
He's off the chart. So this is probably a guy, again, just going back to Phoenix, I think total, Phoenix has another year. So does total. This is not a guy that, I would think Tom Allen, I think he's recruiting this guy. He's committed to, right? He's committed to, now is he a senior?
He's a senior in high school, yeah.
And
they're going to have 5 quarterbacks in the room. You got Donovan McCulley and Williams kid that was hurt his knee.
This is some guy. This guy, someone's going to come to him with the NIL deal, and they're going to tell him, listen, how about you go ahead and you in your high school football career, sign this deal, because high school football, you can't have an NIL deal, and go enroll at Indiana. You know what? It's midway through the season. I'm sure he would not have a profound impact on our program this season. Right. See this guy take the money and run. I mean, there was another kid. I can't think of his name that did that. They were, I think he ended up at Alabama or something like that.
That's Quinn Ewers for Ohio State.
That's the only team, and that's the only team that Josh Hoover's team has lost to this year. Was that kid's team?
Was that kid, and he didn't even play this year. Nope. That kid didn't even play. The one like you said, John, the kid at Ohio State. What's his name?
Quinn Ewers.
Yeah, Quinn Ewers. Yep.
Man, hey, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, Bob Kravitz will join us, and Rick Bozich as well.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know you were asking a question. Yep. Yes, both of them were joining us.
Perfect. And Rick may not remember you, but because he was in Louisville, but we'll have some great conversation about he covered Schnellenberger and all those guys as well. We have plenty more coming back. DJ Derrick Jackson joining us here on Indiana Sports Beat Radio. We're back with more right after this.
We'll be right back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington and Southern Stone Restaurants.
If you're working.
Morning, Rick. Sorry for the late notice. Can you hear me, Rick?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay, good. I was saying sorry for the late notice earlier.
That's okay.
And Bob will be on with us, or he's supposed to be on with us too. We got Derrick Jackson, former Indiana football player under Bill Mallory, with us as well this morning. So
cool.
Pretty unique little lineup.
Yeah. What's Derrick do now?
He's retired down in Florida. He is right there.
Hey, Derrick.
Hey, who's it, Kravitz?
This is Rick Bozich. He's down in WDRB in Louisville.
I'm good,
How
man.
you doing, sir?
I'm
good, brother. Good, man.
Who did you play with? Dave Schnell and those guys?
Yep, Dave Snell, Van Waiters, Anthony Thompson, Trent Green, Vaughn Dunbar, Tony Buford, Kenny Allen, you name it, Alex Green, Leonard Bell, played with all those guys.
That was a good group.
Yes.
Did you guys beat Baylor in a bowl game?
Baylor, we didn't play Baylor during my time. We were there.
Okay. Virginia Tech, no?
Nope, Virginia Tech, nope. We were the only non-con that we played would be Louisville and Kentucky. Well, Kentucky was always big with us for the first year. We always played a state team, which was Kentucky, Louisville, and Navy would be our non-con teams that I played with.
I thought in a bowl. Who did you guys play in bowl games?
Tennessee, 1 year. Let me get back to Florida State and South Carolina Gamecocks.
Okay.
Yeah. So we played those teams. Tennessee was a nominal football team back then. Obviously, Florida State was a great year for me because my former high school teammate Deion Sanders was on Florida State at the time we played him. Yeah, so that was a great game playing against Bobby Bowden down there in Birmingham in the All-American Bowl. Sammy Smith was their running back. He was an All-American running back, and we had our own All-American running back in Anthony Thompson. So they had to prepare for us just as hard as we had to prepare for them. Yeah.
Good stuff.
All right, go ahead and bring us back in.
All right.
Sam's Restaurants has multiple locations and something for everyone. Sam's Restaurant in Fishers has homemade coffee cakes and much more. Sam's Place in Broad Ripple has wings, tender steaks, and seafood. Sam's Ale House in Carmel and on 86th Street in Indy have a long list of craft beers and all of the right foods to go with. Plan a day on the links at Eagle Point in Bloomington, then stay for dinner at Sam's Clubhouse. Sam's Restaurants, professionals in the art of food and drink. This segment is brought to you by Sam's Family of Restaurants. Fresh, local, family. Now back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington and Southern Stone Restaurant.
Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat Radio, coming to you from the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios, of course, brought to you by Sam's Restaurants and Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. Make sure you stop by if you're around one of those places. Have a great meal. Rick Bozich. Rick, hey, Bob Kravitz is there. Hey, Robert, how are you, sir?
Good. I was having some technical problems, which should come as no surprise to anybody.
Well, Rick, I assume you're mourning the loss of the Sox last night. I saw they went down to the Astros. So that season, I thought that I was hoping they were going to beat. Everybody wanted them to beat the Astros, I think.
Except Dusty Baker. Yeah, I was there. I left in the 7th inning.
No kidding.
Yeah, I was there Sunday night. And I stayed over and went to the game yesterday.
Bob Kravitz also. We got Derrick Jackson with us, former Indiana football player back in the 90s for Bill Mallory. Played in a group during that run. He wasn't there for all 6 of those, but during that run, Bill Mallory had 6 bowl games in 8 years. He was fortunately in 4 of those, so he got to go to 4 bowl games, but played with a tremendous group of guys. But great stories outside of that. Played high school football with Deion Sanders, and was recruited, Rick, by the one and only Howard Snellenberger, and he had to call him on the phone and tell him no, that he was going to Indiana University instead.
How did Coach Snellenberger take that? Did he flash his Miami championship ring at you?
Well, I tell you what, thankfully it was on the phone. It was probably one of my least desirable conversations. Guy with a pipe smoking, big baritone voice. What do you mean you're not coming to Louisville? You're going to Indiana? That's the question. What happened. So now I was telling John and telling Jim, he sent a recruiter down. This is right before the signing period, and say, hey, listen, we got to get this guy to come to Louisville. Ultimately, obviously, I made a very good choice in Indiana. But yeah, he was at Miami, started recruiting me at Miami. And I wasn't going to Miami. I definitely wasn't going there. Wasn't prepared to sit on the bench for 4 years. All right, Miami.
Good thinking.
Yeah.
Robert, what's going on with you, sir?
Well, the hockey season began last night, which is why I got these dark circles under my eyes. I was watching hockey till about 1 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
I know all 3 of you guys are doing exactly the same thing.
Oh yeah, I couldn't wait. I've been planning my entire year around that.
I can imagine. So yeah, just been working, and hockey started, so I'm a happy dude.
Well, as long as now, Rick, what do you do now that the White Sox are over?
Oh, I'll watch the rest of the baseball season, and then there's about a 1 week gap between baseball and college basketball, and I'll be okay.
Yeah, it's not going to be long. Last week, Big Ten Media Days. Now, Rick, did you go to one of the other conferences for Media Days?
Eric Crawford's down in Charlotte right now. He was down there for the ACC thing. So no, we didn't go. I didn't go.
Mike Woodson, kind of cool that Mike Woodson was able to make his formal introduction, I guess, to the Big Ten in Indianapolis, Bob, his hometown, where he's from, where he grew up playing on the streets. It's just couldn't be anything more apropos than that.
It's just such a feel-good story, and I can tell you that he's already done something that Archie Miller never did in all his time at Indiana.
He hasn't won a game yet.
Well, he smiled.
He smiled.
In all the time that Archie was here, what was it 4 years, 100 years? I can't remember. I never saw that man smile. I never saw anything that suggested that he had a personality, and I mean, I don't mean to, I guess I do mean to rip the guy, but I mean, Mike is just such a personable dude, and he's a hometown guy, and this is such a feel-good story. I hope like hell they're good this year. I think they're going to be better. Look, we haven't seen Miller Kopp or Tamar or Xavier or any of these guys play yet, but it sounds like they're going to give them some of the things that they've been lacking. Xavier at the guard is far more dynamic offensively than Rob Finney, who boy, I hope he finds his game. I mean, he's just been, I'm not much on ripping college athletes, but I think he's been something of a disappointment since he's been here. And I think Kopp is going to give him shooting. I'd like to see what Parker Stewart can do. So I'm really intrigued by this, but it's a feel good story, guys. And again, it's cool to see a coach with a sense of humor and the ability to smile.
I think Rob Finney lost his confidence entirely. And
no kidding.
And I put a large part of that on Archie Miller because he was a point guard in college. And that's someone, if anybody he should have been able to take under his wing and get going, it was someone like Rob Finney. And it just never came close to materializing. And whether that's true or not, I don't know that, but it's just, I don't care if it's not, I'll say it anyway. Archie didn't do much of anything. But Mike Woodson also did something else that Archie didn't do before he even coached a game. I interviewed him. He talks to people. He talks to you. He'll talk to Rick. He'll talk to me. Because he's a pro. And that's his first meeting with the press. He said, hey, I know you guys have a job to do. He's not here to get in the way of that. And he wants it to be a good thing, everything good, because he knows the media can be good for his program.
He can't. They can be, but wait till me and Bozich start ripping him after the first 6 games. Yeah. I love all these coaches come in saying that they understand the media's role, and then they get whacked, and then all of a sudden it changes. But no, I think Mike has been dealing with NBA media for 30-something years, and I think his true love for Bloomington and Indianapolis cannot be overstated. And I think he wants so desperately for this thing to work. Look, we're the same age. I covered him at Indiana when I was there, 78 to 82. He was there a couple of those years. And, his love is just, it's hard to describe. But look, what I was starting to say, I'm sorry, I haven't had my coffee yet.
No, you're good.
But we're the same age. I'm sitting here thinking, right, exactly, Rick. I'm sitting here thinking about retirement, and this dude is taking on one of the biggest jobs in college basketball, and I really admire that. I don't understand it, but I really admire the fact that here he is, 61, 62, 63 years old, whatever he is, and he wants to take on a job that's usually reserved for younger people. And I think that's very admirable, and I wish him all the luck in the world.
Yeah, not only taking on that job, but taking on that job when it's in as difficult position as it could be. It's not like they were up.
Right.
They weren't devoid of talent. They had the talent, but it's not like anything good has been going on. They haven't made a tournament in 5 years, haven't beaten Purdue in 9 straight games. There's a lot of negativity that has gone around with the program, but it's a program that needs something like Mike Woodson, I believe, Rick.
Yeah. I mean, it needs somebody who wants to be there, wants to be enthusiastic about it, and sees it as an opportunity and a challenge and fun. I mean, Archie, if you really want to be honest about it, from the very first game when they got blown out by Indiana State and gave up 17 threes or whatever it was just a 4-year tug of war with him trying to find his footing and embrace the job. And, we picked up on the lack of smiling and the lack of enthusiasm, and I think the players did too. They've been pretty open about talking about how it's more fun playing basketball. And I think you'll see a team I think a lot of those guys would have left if Archie would have been back. So we'll see now if this is a fresh start, and we'll see if they can change the narrative. To me, it'll come down to, they've got Jackson Davis and Thompson. They're proven players, but they got to have guard play. You got to have really good guards to win the Big Ten consistently. You got to have guards that people fear. And Indiana really hasn't had a guard that people feared since Yogi Ferrell. So out of the 6 or 7 guards they have, if a couple of them can become, top level Big Ten players, they can have a good year.
Trace Jackson Davis, speaking of smiling, he's smiling. I was fortunate to have him on the show last Friday, and it just seemed like he was a little happier than he was. So I think he sees the rainbow, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Now he knows that not necessarily is there going to be a pot of gold, but that opportunity is going to be there. He knows that the coaching is going to be there, and the opportunity to improve his game as the same for the other players are there. And that's what the coach's goals are, to improve those players and the team itself. I think they all know that.
Well, I think the way that the way that Mike handled that whole situation in bringing back Trace was absolutely brilliant. Because look, and Derrick can attest to this, athletes want to be coached. They want to be made better, you know. And I think the fact that Mike showed him all the stuff that he does not do well really resonated with him and his father. And good look, they walked into that office ready to walk. They walked in ready to, you know, to try the NBA or play pro basketball somewhere. And I don't know where he would have been drafted or if he would have been drafted. But I think that Mike understood, you know, this kid wants to be a better player, and he wants to put himself in a better position for the NBA, and he needs to do certain things to improve himself. And I think that was a stroke of genius on his part.
Well, he knows Mike Woodson. He knows what it takes to play at the next level. He's coached it. He's played it. And again, he's an Indiana University product and also an Indianapolis, Indiana product. So he knows what it takes. And like I was talking about, Jim and I were talking about, a lot of these programs, probably the NFL is going to go back to, these coaches who have had roots, who played the game, who has great connections. You see it going on with Deion Sanders at Jackson State, setting himself up for obviously a Power 5 school in the very near future. Players are being attracted to the programs because these guys know the game, they played the game, and they've got these connections. And I'm sure Mike Woodson sees something in Trace Jackson Davis that he can maybe improve just a little bit more before he goes to the next level. Because like you said, these guys, they were ready to walk. They were ready to walk. So he's breathing fresh breath into the Indiana basketball program. And I'm telling you, man, I'm excited. These guys are going to be really competitive this year. I can tell you that right now. Basketball is a different animal than football. Much different animal. These guys are really going to be successful. I think he's going to have phenomenal success in his first year as head coach of Indiana basketball.
Is this a pressure-free year for everybody?
It's a honeymoon phase.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah.
Until he loses a game he's not supposed to lose.
Yeah. Until Indiana State shows up and hits 17 threes and they lose by 31.
Right. And then IUPUI backs it up by doing the same thing.
Yeah.
No, IU Fort Wayne. I'm sorry. IU Fort Wayne.
Fort Wayne. Yeah, the Mastodons, right.
Which still may be the most. I was there for both of those, and I still cannot believe guys were 5 feet away from guys that were shooting threes, and they were running in circles. It was the weirdest. The defenders were literally running in circles, and I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? And it really was a scary thing to watch, to be honest with you, for that level of athletics. I don't know how that's even possible, but it did. So, but
I was glad for my buddy Greg Lansing that night. Believe me.
Yeah.
Well, let's ask Derrick. What's it gonna take for Indiana to beat Michigan State?
The team is going to have to rally around Jack Tuttle, which is what I'm certain that they've done. Jack Tuttle has to have, even though he hasn't played very much, he has to have an amazing amount of confidence. The reason I say that because last year he came in and on a big stage and he did a phenomenal job. He came in at the tail end of this last game they played and did a phenomenal job, in my opinion. And Jack Tuttle is really going to be the key to our success this weekend, because now there's a new leader on the football field. The defensive schemes that Michigan State are going to have to adjust to is a different speed than from Mike Penix. They're going to come after Tuttle. Tuttle has to know this in their mind. They're going to come after Tuttle. But as I was saying, those stats for Michigan State, 124 out of 129 passing efficiency is not good. Over the course of the season so far for Michigan State. But our defense is going to have to play its best game to beat Michigan State this week.
I mean, look, I was calling for them to move on to Tuttle a couple of games ago. Look, I love Michael Penix. I think he's a wonderful kid.
Right.
But he's not the same quarterback, whether it's physical, whether it's mental. I don't know what it is. But look, Tuttle, people forget. I forget what this is called. The all-11 quarterback group or whatever it's called. He was one of the top 11
in the
high school quarterbacks in the country. He was there with Trevor Lawrence and the kid from Clemson. I mean, he was there with all these guys. So he's got the talent. He went to Utah. There's a story there that hasn't been told, but he had a really rough go of it at Utah. Came to Indiana, got terribly sick. I mean, really was held back for a long time because of his health. I think this is his time. I think he's got a chance to establish himself as a very, very good quarterback for a team that needs to pull it together.
Yeah, nobody will say it, but I'll be the first. I'm sure other people have by now. But yes, it is time, for us to move forward with a different quarterback.
Yes.
Mike Penix has had a phenomenal career. That's not to say the guy won't continue on at some point at the next level. I don't know, but you want to consider the injuries you have, and consider you've had these injuries the last 4 or 5 years you're at Indiana. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so if I'm Tom Allen, I said it last game. I said it even before halftime. It was time for us to change quarterbacks midway through the game at Penn State, man.
I guess what I would say is I think Tuttle has a chance to help improve the offense, but the issue is, to me, offensive line isn't good enough. The running back isn't good enough.
Getting the job done, right.
And the offensive coordinator I have questions about. So they need improvement in all areas on offense, not just at quarterback.
Right. Nick Sheridan made some questionable calls, but when you're winning, nobody questions it. When you're losing, everybody scrutinizes, put that microscope on you. I think we still have the talent. I just think the nature of the calls, and as I said the last time we were on, I mean, when you're in the red zone, you have an opportunity against 6th-ranked Nittany Lions. You put points on the board, Nick Sheridan. You don't go for, and I don't think it was a Nick Sheridan call. I think it was a head coach's call. Usually, whether you go for it on 4th and inches or 1 is up to the head coach. But in case Nick Sheridan said, "Hey, coach, I think we can get this. Coach, I think we need to go ahead and get some points on the board to get some motivation with this team."
On the road for sure, and feel good about it. Because the same thing happened in the Cincinnati game where they walked away from 3 points where they could have put Cincinnati down 2 scores and they didn't do it.
And not only do they do that, but the call that they make is for Michael Penix to run the ball, which I was like, really? But anyway, Bob, I know the Colts just snatched victory from the jaws, or snatched defeat from the jaws of victory the other night. I've said that every day incorrectly, but wow, up 25-9. They had kept Lamar Jackson under wraps somehow most of the game until the 4th quarter, and then he just goes nuts on him. He throws for over 440 yards, and Rick, I think it was the highest percentage getting that done than any quarterback in the history of the NFL that has thrown for 400-plus yards. What a stat for someone who has always been talked about, someone who can't throw the ball when he was in college and all that. But anyway, Bob, I know you've got a piece out about the collapse of that and with the Athletic.
Well, Lamar Jackson came into the game 26 in the league in completion percentage. And look, once they went to their 2-minute package, it was over. And look, there were some extenuating circumstances. They lost. I mean, they went into the game without Rocky Sin and TJ Carey. And then during the game, they lost Rhodes. They lost Kerry Willis. They were down to 2 practice squad call-ups in the secondary. Really 3, if you think about it. If you add Sendejo, it wasn't practice squad, but he came in off the street. And they got annihilated. But I think you have to look at the style of defense that they play. They are 0-7 against their last 7 playoff opponents. And, good quarterbacks just tear them apart. And I think part of it is schematic. Look, unless you've played football at a high level, you don't really understand all the X's and O's of the game. Right. I acknowledge that freely. All I know is this dude who is not accurate had all day long to survey the field. And as we speak, Mark Andrews just got open and caught another 20-yard pass over the middle with nobody within 10 yards of him. I mean, Bozich could have completed 60% of his passes, for God's sake. Me, not so much. And here's the other problem they have is when you're playing that sort of Tampa 2, you have to have a front four, especially edge rushers, who can create pressure. We saw it with the 2006 Colts with Freeney and Mathis. We saw it with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers years ago when they won their first Super Bowl. And right now, the Colts don't have those guys. They got rid of Houston. They got rid of Danico Autry, and they threw their hat in with a bunch of rookies. And so far, they either haven't produced or they've been hurt. And guys like Banagoo and Quiddy's hurt. Odeyingbo is hurt. Banagoo's done nothing. Teray is starting to show a little something, but no pass rush, and that's a problem.
They could have been 2-3, and instead they go to 1-4. I don't know where they go from there. I mean, if they got to 2-3,
they got an easy schedule coming up, guys. So it will not surprise me. I still think they're going to be in the mix because they have an easy schedule, and the Titans have a brutal schedule coming up. So 10 games in, I think they're going to be right in the middle of this whole thing. But boy, I just don't like this. I mean, good defenses take a player away, and Mark Andrews was the guy they needed to take away, and they didn't. He went bananas, and yes, they were injured. They had problems in the secondary, but you've got to find a way to take away their best player, like Bill Belichick always does, and they didn't do that, and they got run.
Yep, Rick. What do you got working on? I know you had some stuff. I saw a piece a couple of days ago on Terence Williams. A very unfortunate story. Talked about he's from a lottery pick to federal arrest. Is very, very unfortunate whenever you see that, but that's just a hard fall.
Yeah, I mean, T.Will was one of the top recruits under Rick Pitino. He played for that team in 2009, which was the overall #1 seed in the NCAA tournament. And then they got upset at Indianapolis, actually, by Michigan State. Drafted in the lottery by the Nets, never got a second contract, and his career's just spiraled downward ever since. And now he was the ringleader, according to the federal government, of the 18 NBA players who were accused of fraud, of turning in, fraudulent medical claims to the players' medical fund for root canals and chiropractors and different things like that. And beyond that, T-Will was allegedly getting a kickback from other players when they turned in. He wanted 10% of their claims. So he's got some serious issues going forward, and we'll see. Louisville's off this week. The big game down here this weekend is Kentucky at Georgia. Kentucky's 6-0 at Georgia, but they're still a 23-point underdog.
Wow.
They beat Florida and LSU back-to-back, and they're a 23-point underdog against Georgia.
That's pretty wicked. Decision date for Noah Clowney, Indiana's biggest recruit, has been moved up, I think, October 31st, Rick. So that is a big time for Indiana. If Mike Woodson can get that, that would be kind of a crown jewel in his recruiting thus far, I would think.
Yeah, give him a guy really at all the important positions: point guard, small forward, center, and they got the shooting guard C.J. Gunn from Indianapolis. It'd be a top 10 class right out of the blocks for Mike Woodson, and I think for the people that wrote that Indiana spent $10 million to ruin its program, they might have to answer to that.
What are you looking at me for?
No, I was looking in the background for Gary Parrish.
But guys, I cannot thank you enough. As always, we appreciate you so much. I hope, Bob, where are you going to be this weekend? Are you out and about?
Well, real quick, I'm doing something really interesting tomorrow. I am going to Putnamville Correctional Facility with the Pacers. And they are going to do a 45-minute roundtable with several. You're not supposed to call them inmates. I learned this yesterday. They are residents of the correctional facility, and I will respect that. Then they're playing a basketball game with the residents and a couple of former Pacers. So I'm going to spend the day at the correctional facility. And for the record, it's the first time I've ever been to a jail, despite the fact I've done a lot of really stupid crap in my life.
Oh, man. Well, good. We cannot wait to hear about that, man. Rick Bozich, Bob Kravitz, guys are the best. And thank you so much. We appreciate you. Looking forward to doing this again next week. Hey, we're going to be back with more. Van Waiters joins myself and Derrick Jackson after this.
Oh, wow.
We'll see you on the other back.
Van Waiters, hello.
We will do that. You're welcome to stay along. We'll be back with more right after this.
Bye, Derrick.
See you guys.
We'll be
Bye-bye. Take care, guys.
The Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington and Southern Stone Restaurant.
Whether it's a celebration or just
now, you'll actually need to take one more break before Van Waiters comes on, but this will be a really short segment.
I was going to tell Derrick I normally don't take off after every segment, but I'm laying down.
Oh,
I was wondering what you were doing, but I kind of figured, I guess.
I hurt my neck. I've never hurt it in my life like this. And oh my God, it's killing me.
Man, I tell you, during my years of football, I've suffered some injuries too, man. So suffered a little nerve damage. I mean, we didn't have the protective equipment like these guys got nowadays.
No. How long will you be in here Friday? Did you say are you going back to Indy Friday before you come back?
Yeah, I'm going to now, Jim, you're in Indianapolis, right?
No, I'm in Bloomington.
Oh, you're in Bloomington. Okay. Yeah, I'll be down there Friday. Let's see. About 2:30. I'll be there until about maybe 7, 8 o'clock Friday night, man.
All right.
I'll give you a shout, man.
Take you out to lunch or whatever.
Okay, yeah. Hey, you got my number, man. You got my cell phone number, correct?
I'll call you when we get off here.
Okay, all right. That's fine. Yeah, man. Look forward to it, man.
Man, you do great at this. Seriously.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. For you having me on, man. It's something.
Man, I love having people that like you. That I'm like, God, I can just talk about anything all day.
Hey,
all right, here we go.
Okay.
Percent APR financing over 48 months and $0 down. Get more to your door with AndyMooreHonda.com.
Come see us at the all-new Andy Moore Honda, now in Bloomington.
This segment is brought to you by Aurora Specialty Sleep Clinic. Now back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington and Southern Stone Restaurants.
Welcome back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios, brought to you by Andy Moore Honda, Southern Stone Restaurants, and our good friends at Aurora Specialty Sleep Clinic. You know, if you or someone you know has trouble sleeping, snoring, you need to go visit our friends at Aurora Specialty Sleep. Former IU basketball player and dentist Steve Green, along with Brian Evans, can help you get that good night's sleep that you've always wanted. And trust me, I can tell you personally, this thing works. It's just a device, looks like teeth whitening trays, man. And it's incredible, but it certainly works for me. Give them a call. They are on Statesman Drive in Indianapolis, and you can reach them. I lost the phone number. I have it written out in front of me. I'll have to pull that back up. If you don't snore, you're lucky, Derrick.
Well, I do. I tell you, man. I know
Well,
my wife
yeah.
tells me all the time. Oh, man, you call them hogs, as they say.
Well, you have to visit our friends there that they love to take care of. It's amazing. That thing it's a teeth whitening tray thing that just goes in. It's unbelievable how it works, but it does. Are you besides football, obviously, what's the other sports that you're a big fan of?
Basketball, college basketball. Not really a fan of pro basketball too much, but college basketball. I mean, you know, and you hear, obviously, you know, me playing in Indiana and you know, having Indiana connections. I mean, can't help but to be a college basketball fan and to see a lot of these other teams now outside of it. Because, you know, when I was at Indiana was all I used to think about when it came to college basketball. But I mean, you got your Kentuckys, you got your Dukes, the World Louisvilles of the world, and it's exciting to see the college basketball season getting started. But yet again, like we talked about, you know, Mike Woodson is this big headline heading into the 2021-22 season.
I think it's going to be a good year for Indiana basketball. How good, I don't know. Fans, you know, they get excited and they think that they're going to battle for the Big Ten championship and all that. I don't know that that's the case. I don't feel that way, but I think it's going to be a fun year for them. It'll be fun to watch. So it'll be interesting. But just the players, like I said, if Noah Clowney, if they can land him to complete the recruiting, that's another thing. That's a recruiting class that I don't think Archie Miller ever landed in his entire 4 years. And Mike Woodson will be able to get that done in his first season, which is a pretty good sign.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so too. And in Indiana baseball, I mean, just looking at you know, everything, Indiana baseball has done pretty well too. I got a couple. We talked about this last time. They got a couple of guys or something like that in the pros, but we've done fairly well, I think, over the last couple of years when it comes to Indiana baseball.
Well, and women's basketball program and soccer program. I hate
Yep.
Final 8 last year, and the soccer program, they got a new coach that came in 2 years ago, Edwin Binnenkom, originally from the Netherlands, but he came in from Duke, but has turned that program around. It's just great to see sports programs do well. So it makes it a lot more fun for certain. Men's soccer, of course, continue to roll as well. You ever play soccer?
Yeah, I think I did it once or twice. That's it. It can be a humbling sport. I mean, you're actually on the move all the time. You're running all the time. The ball can come your way at any time. So, yeah, I played. I think, but probably when I was back more or less in elementary, middle school, but I never after that, you know, anything like that.
A typical game of a pro sport is supposed to be the equivalent of 6 miles of running.
Yep, you're right.
It is hard running too. I mean, you have to go at it. I mean, you have to get after it. And I was not a big, when I was young, I thought soccer was for wimps. Boy, how wrong you learn. You can sure learn how wrong you are about something. And yeah, soccer is a difficult sport to play, man.
Well, I tell you, I thought that about golf. They used to say golf is not a sport, but I'm gonna tell you, golf is a humbling sport. A sport that you have to concentrate on, and I'm learning that. Mental, exactly. It's a very, very mental game. There's phases of the game. Your long game, your short game, your mid-range game. So just like any other thing when it comes to sports.
You have got to focus on 4 to 5 shots each hole. Okay, so that's 20 times 18, and that sounds like it's not that much, but to actually lock in and be that mentally focused on everything every time, that is the difficulty. And it's way more difficult than I think even the casual golfer realize. I don't know that they realize that that's not what they're doing. But to stay that locked in it's very tough. I have a hard time doing it because I'm ADHD. It just takes that one time to where I'm daggone it. I lost focus for a second and I didn't look at the ball or whatever it takes. Woof, off you go.
Yep, exactly, man.
So you get to play a lot of golf?
Well, I do. Obviously, being retired now, I live right off of a golf course. And I tell you, I get out there at least two to 3 days a week. And I do some fishing too. I mean, Florida is phenomenal this time of the year when it comes to fishing. Love it. I can't get enough of it. It's quiet and there's a lot of serenity, a lot of peace when it comes to fishing, man. Away from
you gotta hook up with Jared Jeffries, man.
Jared Jeffries.
Jared Jeffries, former basketball player in Indiana, went to Bloomington North, had a fishing show on the Outdoor Life Network.
Really? Did you really?
Yes. I'm gonna connect you two guys. That's okay. He's in Florida. I think he's in Florida as well.
Okay. Joe Huff is also in Naples. I need to get back in touch with him. When Coach Mallory would come down and we would play golf, Joe Huff is in Naples. So I need to get back up, hook up with him too. But yeah, hook me up with that guy, man. That'd be great.
And I think Joe Huff has property on Lake Monroe.
Really?
I believe so. Ask him that. I think so.
I know he played for the Colts for a period of time, didn't he?
I believe so.
Yep.
I believe so. We got all kinds of stuff we can find out. Hey, let's take a quick break. When we come back, Van Waiters joins us. Speaking of old timers, we can talk about all the old timers. We're back with more. Derrick Jackson joining us here on Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Back with that right after this.
We'll be right back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington and Southern Stone Restaurant.
Whether it's a celebration. What do you fish for, mainly?
He stepped out to call Van Waiters, I think.
Hey, I'm a bass fisherman, man. That's my thing. Man, I love bass.
That's all I ever fished for when we were younger. Hey. Man, my friends, we'd sneak out to the golf course ponds, and man, they were always loaded.
Yep, bass, and they call it down here in Florida. We call them shell crackers. But they're really panfish.
Yeah. Are they like a soft mouth, like a bluegill?
Yep, bluegill. Yep, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Man, those are real soft mouth or a paper mouth. You got to ease them in.
I'm putting in a call to Van. I'm trying to see where he is. I don't know if you can see him on your end.
No, so what he'll do is he needs to go in his email and click on the link, and we'll be able to see him then.
I told him. Yeah, hey Van, it's the link is in your email. Did you get the link? Okay, all right. Yeah, you can give you a couple minutes. Yeah, just pop on in as soon as you do that, man. All right. Yeah, I just talked to him, man. He's gonna change his shirt. He's gonna pop in a couple of minutes.
Good stuff. Yeah, we'll have about 15 minutes left.
Yeah. I'm gonna get with Wally Agunlier too. He's down in Miami doing some good things in Miami with some charities and some groups and some organizations.
I see him on Twitter all the time, and I didn't have a way of reaching out to him, but yeah, definitely I was trying to get in touch with him. He's a great person, just a great person.
Yeah, he is, man. Great person, great personality, great family, a lot of football knowledge. Yeah. I connect with him all the time, and also I used to have Pete Stoyanovich. Remember Stoye? We used to call him Stoye in college.
Kidding me? Man, played for the Dolphins forever.
Yep, that's him, man. Stoye. And Dan Strudzinski. You remember Strudzinski strike?
Oh yeah, all of them guys, man.
Yeah, man. All those are my guys, man. Yeah, those are my guys, man.
Pete Stoyanovich was probably the best kicker in the country when he was playing.
He was, man. And I tell you, I'm learning that Coach Mallory, man, was a hell of a recruiter, man. Antoine Randall, man, imagine if we had that guy right now.
Oh man. Do you know Mark Deal? You remember Coach Deal?
Yeah. I remember Coach Deal. Yeah.
Do you know who he says was may have been a better quarterback than Randall L?
Who?
Allen Iverson.
I heard he was good in high school.
Hey, here we go. We got about 10 seconds.
Right now, get free checking with online banking and all the products of big city banks with hometown service.
With First Federal, you can do that.
This segment is brought to you by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington. Now back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington and Southern Stone Restaurants.
Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat Radio, coming to you here on this Wednesday. We've reached the halfway point. I see football this weekend. Indiana taking on Sparty. Homecoming. It's homecoming. And speaking of homecoming, our man Derrick Jackson is going to be here. Looking forward to that. But he's here with us right now, so that's the best part. That's always better than anything. He's a big fisherman. We were talking about in the break. Bass fish. So you're a bass fisherman. I haven't gotten to do a lot of fishing lately, but when I did fish when I was younger, I loved to bass fish. But me and my buddies, we'd sneak out to the golf course ponds where we were because they were always great. You weren't supposed to fish in there, but boy, we'd go in there and we'd just kill them. It was just fun stuff.
Not only that, man, they taste good too. I mean, they don't have such a fishy taste. You don't have as many bones in them as you do, say, your bluegills. And it's just, for me, it's the exciting part about fishing, man. It's almost like an interception. It's like when you get that ball in your hand and the crowd goes wild. When you get that big one on the other end and you're bringing him in and you think he's 20 pounds when he's only about a 4 or 5 pounder.
What was your favorite moment as an IU football player? Do you remember that? Was there a moment? Was there a play?
I had so many favorite moments, but I tell you, I had one of my best games against Michigan at home in 86, I believe. Yeah, my freshman year. It was exciting for me. I was on special teams. I didn't expect to play much of defensive back.
Is it the year they won?
Yeah.
87.
86 or 87. Anyway, it was the year that everybody stormed the field and they tore the goal.
I was there, baby. I stormed the field.
Yeah.
14-10, I believe. 14-10, I think was the score.
Yep.
Had a drizzle falling all day. It was a
drizzle. Yep.
Just a perfect.
I think that's when Coach Mallory's. I think Bo said it was the darkest day in Wolverine history, and I think Coach Mallory said, "You tell Bo, I seen many dark days." I think that was. I believe that was him. So
there's big. Van Wader's joining us.
Hey, what's up, man?
DJ, I got you. I found my way in, DJ. I found my way in.
Okay.
We were just talking about back in the 80s when you guys knocked off the Michigan Wolverines and on that fun day back in 87, I think. I was actually I was in the stands. I was one of those people that stormed the field, man. It was so much fun just seeing it. The funniest thing of all, because you all probably don't remember this part, Bo Schembechler complained and called for a timeout to the referees and was given one because of excessive crowd noise at Memorial Stadium, which didn't even have the ends enclosed at that time.
I got a great story to go along with that. I think it was my junior year, I think, but a couple years before we went up to Michigan to play, and we were having a good run or something. And Bo came to the midfield of the field, nearly on the M, to take control of the game, the momentum. And, it's Bo Schembechler, so you're like, what the? But it's Bo, so you have some respect for him. The week before our game, we had a meeting with the players as me, Tom Post, and I forget who else. And we told them, listen, when we start playing and we get the momentum and we're winning, expect Bo to come on the field. Not 5 yards out, not 20 to the middle of the field. And guess what? He did it. And all our eyes lit up, and we expected it. And that gave us more momentum because we knew what he was doing. He was trying to control the game because he's Bo, which he's always done. So that's a story to go along with that one.
That's funny. Can you believe that it took up until last year for Indiana to beat Michigan again?
No, I can't believe it. I can't.
There have been so many close ties. They lost to them in double overtime a few years ago. The year after that, just so many times where they'd been so close and just it didn't happen. And finally, they get by that last year.
You know what? That's been like of a sore spot because I thought we started a tradition, of beating these players, these teams, Ohio State, Michigan. But and it's a tough cookie. It's been a tough cookie for us, but I still believe in this program and this team, and I believe it will happen consistently.
I agree, Derrick Jackson. I think you agree.
Indiana. We're right on the cusp, man, of really doing something special. And again, like we talked about in the beginning of the show, you don't become successful without having some setbacks. And I think that's the phase that head coach Tom Allen is going through right now. We're having some setbacks, and our character as a team is being tested, given the fact that now we're going from Michael Penix to Jack Tuttle. Jack Tuttle has proven he can play in big games, and I think he's going to show up this week. I'm telling you right now, this team is going to be a different team this weekend. We've got everybody back. I really don't think the only player we don't have back is Mike Penix, but McFadden, Tawan Mullen, we've got Hendershot, over there. And like I told you, this is going to be a key stat. I'm telling you, during the game, we can throw the ball on this team. We can throw the ball on Michigan State. And when Freifogel is going to have a great opportunity if we focus on Jack Tuttle and Freifogel getting that ball. We're going to be able to run the ball too, but I think we're going to have a better game passing the ball than we were running this weekend.
It just dawned on me. We've had Van on before. I forgot. He's a coach down there in Florida. It's in Tampa, right? Is it Tampa?
Broward County, American Heritage High School.
I don't know why I forgot that, but I was like, wait a minute, Vance, but we had him on here last week. We were talking about those games coming up. I forgot all about that. How is your season going right now?
Not so well.
Oh, sorry.
Not so well. I think we're actually – listen, I think we're actually 2-3. We've lost some good teams. We played IMG Academy, which is a kind of a powerhouse. Yeah. We just haven't put it together. We were a nationally ranked team. We're not doing so well. Are we going to turn around? Yes. Will we win the state title here? I would predict yes. But so far it hasn't been so good, but that's up and downs of coaching and playing. And, we look forward to the challenge. Especially I look forward to the challenge. And we still have some great players here. We still have great players here, and I believe we'll turn it around.
The head coach is Patrick Surtain. Is that correct? Man?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Hey, talent. I was talking earlier about one of Indiana's recruits that's in Texas, actually playing at 6A, Texas, the highest level down there. A quarterback. Currently, he's thrown in 6 games for 1,800 yards, 21 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a 143 quarterback rating.
God. Josh Hoover.
Those are the players. Those are the players we're going to need to consistently beat Michigan, Ohio State, and Wisconsin, Iowa. We need those type of players, and we got to just keep. Coach Tom is doing a great job of recruiting. And as I told you guys before, when he's down here, Coach is trying to get the best players. He's not looking for the average player. He's trying to recruit the best players, and over time, that will prove to be something that'll be very positive.
Van, how often do you get to come back? Derrick's getting an opportunity to come back this weekend for the Michigan State game. With coaching, I know it's very, very difficult. So do you get the opportunity to even come back during the season at all?
Lately, the last couple of years, because of the coaching, and plus I have a daughter in college playing college soccer, and trying to coach here and go see her, because this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing, your kid playing
absolutely.
Sport, and they play their games on Saturday. So right now, last couple of years, I've been hustling back and forth. We're going to Yale this Saturday, because she's playing against Yale this weekend at 1:00.
Wow,
so it's hard to get back to IU, but I keep up with all the games. I follow all the games. Also, along with DJ, I follow the games.
Is Yale in Boston?
It's in I forget what city is Connecticut. I forget what city it is.
You said you're talking about the college Yale, right?
Yeah.
I know it's up there in the far northeast. Man, that's a trip. Surely you're flying, right?
Of course, I'm flying.
I was going to say,
I gotta get back here, but it's a one in a lifetime thing. To see your kid playing college sports. You got to do it. You got to do it
at a place like that too. I mean, who is she playing for, by the way? Florida? Is it Florida
She's
school?
with Cornell. She's playing at Cornell.
Oh, so she's already playing so she's unbelievably intelligent on top of of super athletic.
And none of that she got from me. Maybe some athleticism. The smartest, no, not for me. That's from my mom.
Man, I tell you, when he told me his daughter's at Cornell, you know what? She plays basketball, right, man?
No, soccer.
She plays soccer. I'm like, listen, that's just probably something she do just to do that she's good at. But man, in that classroom at Cornell, man, listen, that is awesome, man. That's awesome.
Serious business, man.
And she loves it. She's motivated. That's just the kid she is. She's she loves school. She loves being smart. She's very talented. I've got to give her a lot of credit. Like I said, I don't think she got it from me, but it's something
my daughter played soccer. She's not playing in college, but she's going at Ole Miss going to be a CPA. And I'm like going, yeah, she didn't get that from me. I can't stand math. I cannot stand math. I'm like going,
so you understand? So we understand each other, huh?
I'm like, yeah. I'm like, oh man. I was like, yep, not me. Not me. Numbers.
Yale is in New Haven, Connecticut, right? But
New Haven.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of close to Boston, isn't it? Not too far, maybe.
I don't know. I don't know where it is.
Up there.
It's beautiful up there. Beautiful time.
Oh, it sure is. Well. Before she went to school, we traveled to Yale, Princeton, Brown, all the schools that are right in that little area, right? The Columbia, New York, and Cornell really is upstate, but they're all kind of right near each other.
Well,
what was her GPA in high school? I'm curious. like a 5.0 or something?
Hers? I thought you said hers or Vans.
No, what was her?
Hers, not my hers.
Yeah, her GPA. Yeah. Gee whiz. That's awesome.
No, she likes school, man. She's a good kid. She likes school and she likes being smart. She likes progressing. I gotta give her credit.
That's special right there. So do you have a game tonight, I assume, Van?
No, we don't. We play on Friday nights.
Friday. Friday.
We have a game
Wednesday. I was thinking today was Friday. I don't know what I'm thinking.
Yeah, we have a game Friday night away game, which we should do well and get back on track. And we got a run of 3 games right now that we want to try to go undefeated and going into the playoffs, so we can try to get some momentum. We may meet up with some tough Miami teams, Miami Central, Miami Killian, and those teams are doing well. So we can get a good run going by the time we get into the playoffs, because we're going to need it. It's because it's going to be some really competitive games, and hopefully we can power through and try to win another state title.
Indiana playing Michigan State this week. Earlier, Derrick and I were talking about, I remember that had they won that game, you guys were going to the Rose Bowl. And I'm like, that's mind-boggling. What was it like for you guys going into that game, knowing that, man, we win this game, we're going to the Rose Bowl? That's a lot of pressure, first of all. But what was it like knowing that carrot was at the end of that stick?
I think Van, you were gone then, weren't you?
No, I was there. I was there then. I was there.
Okay.
That year when I forget who the coach of Michigan State was.
George
Perlis.
Yes. The big deal about that game was it was an ABC game at night. We had the interviews, and see, most college players don't get this because we're playing at 1:00 and they're not on ABC. So you got all these big time guys coming to interview us, and we're like, whoa, this is above our pay grade when we walked in the gate, because they had Lorenzo White, who was an All-American. It was a big time, night game. And it was humongous. And I think we didn't play well because of that. I really think we didn't play well because of that. I don't know for sure, but that's what I would guesstimate.
Yeah, they also had.
I mean, we had a really good season because we win this game. We go to the Rose Bowl.
Yeah,
just imagine that.
One game away, bro. I think we only lost 2 games that year, man.
Yes.
Yeah, and they had Andre Bad Moon Rising, Mark Ingram. You remember on the team that time? Yeah, man.
Yes.
We played against Lorenzo White, man. We were super excited. For me, I was like, I'm just sitting there. I'm looking at the lights, and I'm like, okay, I'm looking around. It was big, just like man said. It was huge.
There are some great the names. If people go back and look at those rosters, the names on both of those teams actually incredible. Just awesome to watch that. But it's about 2 hours.
I was excited. I can't wait to this team. Like we had some great games last year, but that's where we want to be.
Yeah.
Right.
8:00 games, Friday night, Saturday night. I mean, that's where we want to be, and I think that's where we belong. Like I said, we got to keep recruiting to get there. But in my eyes, I think that's where we belong, and that's why we beat Michigan and Ohio State when I was there, because I always felt that's where we belong.
Right.
There's kids down here, there's talent out here, and I think Indiana's a great program. Our school likes this program. Our coaches here, they love Indiana program. They always comment to me, "What did Indiana do this week? What did Indiana do this week? What do they do?" You understand? One of the coaches was here the week ago at our game, recruiting. He's just watching players. I forget coach. It begins with his last name begins with T. I think Tigman, and so they're here. So I'm just hoping that we can pull this all together and get back to that thing what we missed, DJ, playing in a big time big time game or something like a Rose Bowl. Because I think I see Ohio State not being better than us. They got a lot of good players. They got all the 5 stars and 4 stars, but the game is always played on the field.
Yep.
And no coach can help you on the field. That was our philosophy. We had a great coach in Coach Mallory.
Yep.
They had great coach and stuff, but when the ball's kicked off, it's your players against our players.
That's it.
DJ's going to have to do a job of getting you guys back together one time and get a reunion up here.
Yeah, definitely. We've had that in the past, and we look forward to doing that in the future.
Well, Van, I cannot thank you enough, man. I appreciate you so much as always. Look forward to having you on again, and good luck this Friday. We'll be checking back in. Good luck to your daughter as well, and you have fun going up. It's about 2 hours from Boston, but it's only an hour and a half from New York City if you want to zip down there, by the way. So there you go. Van Waiters joining us here today, as was Derrick Jackson. Man, I can't thank all of you guys enough. Thanks to Bob Kravitz, Rick Bozich, and, of course, John, the producer. Most importantly, thanks to you guys. Without you all, we've got nothing to do. We appreciate you. We'll be back tomorrow to do it again. Make sure you check it out. Until then, I'm Jim Coyle. I will see you on the radio.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yep.